2023 Porsche Mission X concept car in VR. Hello there everybody, and welcome to a special treat in an awesome car here at OpenFed Gaming. I am the OpenFed. Today we're driving a 2023 Porsche Mission X concept car, which is an all-electric hypercar. We're driving it in a hypercar parade at the Dragon Trail Gardens track. We're doing 6 laps. We started 16th of 16 cars. We started with a rolling start. This is one high-octane, fast-paced hypercar race, and it's absolutely fantastic to drive in. Now, one thing you got to remember with this Porsche, he's got a lot of power. He's got awesome handling, but you do have to watch the corners. You've got to let up in the corners a little bit or he will spin out. So having said that, if you have a little bit of a soft touch with this car, he's just awesome to drive. Fantastic. I just wish that the weather was a little bit better. A nice sunny day outside would have really added to the video, but we have to accept what we get, and we got cloudiness with a possible chance of rain even later on, I believe. Anyhow, 6 laps. They're going to take a little while to do, but we got 15 cars that we got to pass. Now, as you can see, this Porsche's got lots of power, lots of pure power, as it'll show when needed. I mean, you can't go too fast around the corners, but when you're in a straight section like this and you unleash the beast, she goes like crazy. So it's really a lot of fun to drive this car. And you can move up real quick in position if you know where the section. Ooh, look at him. Now he's got a lot of power too. That's a Valkyrie. I've driven that one before, and he's also a lot of fun to drive. But now he's the competition, and he's ahead of us, and he goes like crazy. Now there's a few, like I was starting to say when he interrupted us so meanly by speeding by us. There's a few straight sections like this one here that is fairly decent for passing, you know, but most of it are corners, and you have to really be careful because you don't have a lot of room and you can't be running into the other cars. But if you have a little bit of patience, when you come out or out of the corner like that, you can move over and you can zip by, one here, one there, one again, and just start picking them off. You got lots of time. We're only in the 2nd lap, you know, so there's no need to drive chaotic style. There's no need to be bumping, and I don't like doing that. I like to drive as clean a race as possible. You know, I don't like to run into anything. It just makes it just feels great when you're driving a race like that in VR. And it's a lot of fun. So as we're trying to catch up to that Valkyrie, here's another nice straight section which is great for passing. And then we caught up to him, but we couldn't get by him. And we got the corner coming up, and then of course you got the grandstand section again. That's straight, but the OpenFed's gonna make another push for it as we go try to get by this Ferrari, and then the Valkyrie is gonna be our next victim as we scream by him. I think that's the last we're going to see of him. If we can get enough of a buffer zone between him and us and put a few cars in between us, then he's not going to be able to catch us anymore. But only time will tell. So as we're ripping around here, we caught up to a bunch more, and like I said, you know, as you're racing, this is our 3rd lap now. You got to consistently pass a car here and there. You don't have to pass them all in the 1st lap. That's the way I used to race, where I had to be in the lead for the whole race. Now I find that if you kind of spread your strategy out over the race, you know, pass a few in the 1st round, pass a few more in the 2nd round, and slowly pick up, you can usually do pretty good. Now, the only problem I have is when I pass them all too early in the race and I become the lead car. You know, you might be a lead car by half a second or 1 second, but it's really stressful to try and lead the pack for 2 or 3 laps. I really don't like that. I'd prefer to be the car chasing the lead car, you know, by half a second. That way you can look for your opportunity later on in the race to pass him. Anyhow, in this here race, we are not at the front of the pack yet, and we are coming around here at the end, and I believe we're going to be getting into our 4th lap here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this car in front of us might be the lead car. Now, that doesn't mean that when you catch up to the lead car that early that you're going to be in the lead. We're trying to pass him, but at the same time he's pretty quick. He's got some power under the hood too. Boy, I cannot believe how beautiful they made this car on the inside. It looks absolutely awesome. I think it's fantastic with all the glass. So you've got a better view, you got more light coming in, and you can see everything better. Absolutely awesome car to drive. So, well, while we're catching up to this presumably #1 car, we still haven't had an opportunity. See, as soon as we come around the corner, he zips away on you, and then by the time you catch back up to him again, you're at the corners again. But we got a couple of straight sections coming here. One coming up pretty quick here, and then that one by the grandstand again. And I do believe that we'll be finishing our 4th lap here fairly quickly. Okay, and I see we're starting to get a little bit of rain. Now you do got to be careful when it starts to rain, because it will affect the track. And of course it'll affect the grip on the track. Now here, we could have passed him, but we run out of room, so we're going to just hang back and wait until we get in front of the grandstand. There's a little bit more room there, nice wide track, straight, lots of straight time, and we should be able to get him here. Now, unfortunately, what that means, we can't wait, we're not going to stay behind them, but what that means is that we've got to drive lap 5 and lap 6 in the lead. So there again, like I said, I don't like being the lead car, but if it is, then it is, and the best you can do then is to push it, try to push it as fast as you've been driving throughout the race. I normally tend to slow down a little bit because I don't have no competition in front of me to try and catch, and I can't see anybody behind me in the rearview mirror, so I always end up slowing down without knowing it, you know. But try to keep it going the same speed. Use the full width of the track, keep your speed up, try not to go, slow down around the corners. Don't want to spin out now because, like I said, you know, we're coming up close to the end of the 5th lap and only 1 lap left to go. You don't want to spin out and have that Valkyrie come screaming by you, because we'll never catch him after that. You know, but anytime, take her a little easy around the corners. Anytime you have a straight section like here, hammer down. Hammer down to get a little bit more buffer zone between you and the guy behind you, because you have no idea if he is a 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds, or whatever behind you. He could be 10 seconds behind you. You could be fine to drive a lot slower, but you don't know. So with that thought in mind, the only thing you can do is go as fast as you can. You know, just keep it going without taking any unnecessary risk. Now we're starting our last lap here, I believe. So it's a night, and it's starting to rain again, I see. So, you know, well, like I said, you know, the only way this race would have been any better is if we would have had sunshine for the race, but you can't always get what we want, as the saying goes. So as we're coming up around here, I do think we have a decent buffer on the very next car behind us, so I'm not too worried about anybody catching up to us. I do think we're going to win first place in this race. Absolutely awesome car to drive. If you ever have an opportunity to drive this car at somebody's house, or if you own Gran Turismo yourself, give it a shot, because it's a lot of fun to drive this one. You know, now we're coming up around this a few more corners, and then we get the straight section just before the end of the lap. So this has been an absolutely awesome race. I really love this one. Really like this one. If you liked it too, give us a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any upcoming races, because we got some good ones coming up, hit that subscribe button. Anyhow, I hope to see you back at OpenFed Gaming again real soon. Until the next time, you've been racing with the OpenFed.